Hi, Elisa. Welcome to a new episode of The Baddie and Me. I'm super happy to have you today. How are you doing?
Doing great. Very excited for today. It's actually been a while since I did like a interview style. So yeah, I'm excited.
That's so exciting. And actually, I've been following you on X for some time, and you're such an inspiration. So I want you to start by telling how did you go from broke to 200K per year? What's the short story behind that?
Short story, honestly, is just a lot of work for a long time and not seeing results for like 2, 3 years, and then it all kind of happens. I think people often talk about how progress is invisible at first, and I definitely agree with that. I think at first you see nothing and you wonder if you're going in the right direction, but then it all starts happening. I think a lot of people these days expect things to be like really fast. They just expect like instant results, but that's like just not realistic. Most people that you think are like overnight sensations, like in any industry that you look at, where like they just started popping up everywhere, that's often like the product of them, doing something again and again, like a mad person for years. So yeah, I think my story is no different. I pretty much just like tried loads of different things, like a lot of different things, and failed at a lot of different things, and then finally found what works for me. And it was kind of like right place, right time. But yeah, I would say it all started like in crypto gaming.
Okay, so if I'm correct, you're 26 today or
Yes.
about that age. When did you start testing your first online businesses and online trials?
So I actually started creating online when I was like 13, with Facebook pages. So I was really into like photography and writing. So I had a Facebook page for like photography and a Facebook page for writing. And yeah, I guess that was like my first experience putting myself out there, let's say. I obviously didn't make any money from that. Like I wasn't thinking like that. I was more like, okay, I'm just excited to just like share something. So, yeah, that was like my first encounter with social media. But in terms of making money, I'm pretty sure I was 19. It was like 2020, in like the first half of 2020. So around COVID time. And I was basically doing tarot readings for like my friends. And I was really into that at that time. And I was on X. So I was on X, like as a user, I wasn't really posting anything for a long time. And after Facebook, I think it was probably my favorite social media. And basically what I was doing is like posting tarot readings on X, something which like was really weird at the time. Like no one was really doing it. And then at the end of like my threads, I would basically put a link to like, if you want to book a personal reading, like this is the link. And people would go to my Etsy and then they would book like a reading. And then I would basically do a reading. So I was trading time for money. I think I made like 3.5K pounds, which is like maybe like 4K dollars over like a few months. So it's not huge, but that was like my first moment where I was like, okay, I can literally convert views into sales, because I was getting like pretty viral tweets and I was like, okay, I need to do something about this. And people were asking me, can we get readings? Can we get this? Can we get that? So I saw demand and then I basically gave them what they wanted. Yeah.
But that's actually quite big. I mean, considering it was in 2019, right? When you did that?
I think it was 2020. Yeah.
Okay, 2020. I mean, you were still like very young. And I mean, not everyone can monetize their audience. It's actually one of the hardest things to do. Like, it's easier to grow an audience than to monetize it. That's like the next step. And okay, so you were doing like these readings in
Yeah.
2020, but how did you pivot to crypto? Is it because of gaming that you ended up in the crypto space?
So I actually just, since I was on X, I saw people talking about crypto and I already like knew about it. I couldn't tell you exactly where from, but like I had heard about it. And since I was very into spirituality, I saw like an account I followed, which I don't remember exactly which account it was, to be honest, but they were kind of talking about it in like a spiritual way. So they were saying like, kind of like how we say magic internet money, right? And they were just talking about about abundance and like basically like positive perceptions of money, because I think nowadays a lot of people see money as like this dirty thing, and it's very taboo for many people, right? To like make money and want to make money, like that's seen as like you're greedy or you're not a good person, or the only way you can make money is by being like, yeah, like a bad person. Basically, this account was talking about crypto and just how it unlocks things for like emerging economies. And I was like, okay, this is really interesting. And I start to like kind of get into it. I look into Ethereum because at that time Ethereum was like really, really hot. And yeah, what made me stick around was the gaming side. So I found like a DAO, and they were looking for contributors. And at that point, I was just about to graduate university, and I was looking for a job or an internship. And I was like, okay, let me just like apply for this. I got it. And it was like nothing, but I guess this was like my door in. So then I like went to apply for jobs online, and yeah, the rest is history. Like I got a job, and then I basically went into crypto full time.
That's amazing. It's so crazy the story behind like everything you did. Like you started on Facebook and then you came to Twitter, you did something
It's so
for
random.
passion, and then you ended up in crypto just like that. And so you got a job in crypto, right? Is this how you created a circle and met all the people that you know today? Because you've obviously, grown a personal brand that is like really strong, really big, like you're a big player in crypto Twitter. So was that like the beginning of you like creating your circle of friends in crypto?
To be honest with you, so this was like DeFi summer, just to set the scene a little bit. And it was like a very well paying job. I basically saw a job and I was like, okay, again, really thinking through the lens of money. I'll be very honest with you. I saw the salary and I was like, okay, I'm going to just try my luck. I'm underqualified, but let me try my luck. And I applied and I got it. I met the guy in London, super cool guy. And they were actually, I won't say exactly who they were, but they were actually connected to like MakerDAO and some of the most like core people in crypto. But at that time, I didn't even know that. I didn't know anything. And to be honest, I'm not really in contact with them anymore. I think they've probably left crypto at this point. But I will say that like my network, I created it. It wasn't very strategic. It was more just like, and I think that's why I have the connections I have, is because I never saw it as like, let me get something out of you. I was always meeting people and like genuinely just really interested in what they were doing, because at that point I was still finding myself. I mean, I still am today. And I just felt like, yeah, I was just curious. So yeah, it was never transactional for me. Obviously, if I saw like an opportunity, like at that time I was doing spaces and I would like reach out to founders and whatever. And I would just be like, hey, like, do you want to come on? Like, I'm hosting a panel with like all these people, like, come talk about it. And they would like either accept or decline or answer or not answer. And then through that, like, I, just got in contact with a lot of people. So I would attribute it to a lot of different things, but it's like it takes time. Like it took multiple years to know everyone that I know, and to like build those relationships. And again, I never saw it as something transactional. I think if you go into it thinking like, what am I going to get out of this? Like people can smell that, and like, that's not nice, you know? Like if someone's hitting me up and I feel like all they want is just to take shit from me, like I'm not going to reply. And I reply
Mhm.
to a lot of people. So yeah, I think intention is the number one thing, and you got to be patient, just like in any relationship.
Yeah, I love what you're saying. And also, I feel in this space, the way to make connections is to actually like, chat with people, have a chat like we're having now, meet them at events and just like nurture friendships. And then they become part of your network. And there's a
Yep.
lot of people who send DMs, trying to extract like information and things like that. And it's also like, this is my time. And maybe these are things that you don't give for free. Like, I don't know. And people just want things for free. And that's like one aspect that I sometimes dislike in crypto. Like some people feel entitled. So I think that what you're
Yeah.
saying is really important for everyone to know, because you're not going to make friends if you're like that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very rare.
Yeah. Or at least nothing long term. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
you need to just understand that everybody's busy, no matter who they are, like everybody's busy. So if you're trying to build something, you just got to be patient. Yeah. But also don't
totally.
be scared, like be audacious. Like if you do want to talk to someone, just DM them. Like you have nothing to lose from doing that. Yeah.
Totally. Like you were on my list for the podcast. Like I had like three tiers, like the people I know, the people I kind of know, and like the women that I know but are like bigger. And I was like, fuck it. Like I'm just gonna send her a message. Like worst case, she's gonna say no. It doesn't
No.
matter. So yeah, I'm really proud that I DM'd you and super happy to talk with you. And so my next question is, so how did you manage to make like 200K per year? And is this you as a creator, or was it like a mix of, maybe working part-time for a company, investing money in crypto? Like, how did you make those like 200K?
Okay, so I would say, first of all, when I use that number, it's like an average of how much I'm making now. I'm not going to disclose like the exact amount, but it's like an average of what I make minus investments. At first, like I was making way less because I was basically doing like either full-time or part-time marketing. So I started off doing like full-time marketing because I needed a job, I needed something to sustain myself. The job I first told you about, it was very well paying. I think it was like 10 to 12K dollars a month, which is absolutely insane. It was the height of DeFi summer. So that lasted like 4 months and then I just kind of
Mhm.
left. And then after that, for like 2 years, I was working, for like really not great salaries, like 1.5 to 2K dollars a month I was working for. And I was doing full time marketing during the bear market. Like I was like putting my heart and soul into it. Like it was not easy. And then pretty much towards the end of 2020, yeah, I went full time content. I basically quit my job because I was getting burnt out because I was doing like 7 different roles. If you've ever done like a job at a startup, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was doing too many roles and I was dying, and the company didn't want me to like focus on my content. Like it was just not very healthy. So I quit. And the only reason I quit is because someone basically told me, do you know you can monetize your content? And I had not even thought about that. Like I had never even thought of like taking sponsorships because at that time it wasn't very no, not many people were doing it. So yeah, it was this agency called Owned, and they basically gave me like $250 for like a video, and I was like, wow. I was living in Portugal at the time. My rent was like $600. So I was like, oh my God, I can do like 3 videos and live for the month. This is absolutely insane. So I quit my job and I started doing that. Obviously, there were a lot of risks to that. I had practically no savings. It was a big leap of faith, but I just was at a point where I didn't have a choice. Like that was the only thing I could do. And a few months later, I was getting paid like so much more than that for a post. And that's basically where it started. It was like I had built my, let's say, network, my connections, my platform to a certain extent. Like I wouldn't say that I was like a big creator or anything. Even today, I wouldn't even say I'm like a massive creator, but I had never monetized. So when I did get to monetize, there was actually demand. And so, yeah, basically most of that money is being made from sponsorship deals, from commissions. So whenever I'm like sharing like a link in crypto, it can be like sales of stuff. It can also be like fees, whatever the app is. So it's like deals, commissions, and sometimes I get like referral fees. So for example, if you connect someone with someone else and they've got like they're selling something like a service or whatever, I get a percentage of that. So yeah, at the end of the day, I would attribute it to like network and also platform. So it's like a mix of both. And right now I'm working on like 2 other businesses. So I'm hoping to grow that income as well. But yeah, I mean, every person's journey is very different. So I can't give you like cookie cutter advice, but I would definitely say it's like step by step and you keep adding layers. So like you get really good at something, then you add another layer and again and again until however far you want, really. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And actually, I can also relate to like the first sponsorship deals that you get like as a video creator or just a creator, and you get offered like $300. And at the beginning, it sounds like huge. You're like, oh my God, like that's
Yeah,
actually huge when you think about it, because it
it
doesn't take
is.
you like, you know, a week to do it. So it's like kind of good money for the deal. But sometimes as a creator, I can feel that especially when you create videos, I feel like if you have to do like many, it can get like very draining. Like,
Yep.
I don't know if it ever happened to you, but for example, when I went to DEF CON last year, I had to do like many videos for different projects. And then I was so excited to do them. But then I was like so drained. I felt like my creativity was dying.
Yeah, it's exhausting. Like sometimes I would have deals and I'm not complaining, but it like completely valid. Like I would just dread to do it. So then I had a whole point of like 6, 7 months where I was like, I'm not taking any video deals. Like, no, I would rather just do something like a post. Because yeah, videos are crazy. Also, if you're getting an editor, it's like there's costs. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. And many creators struggle with pricing. I actually have a lot of people DMing me, also asking me, like, hey, Jessy, how much did you ask for this grant? Or how
Oh,
much you price your videos? Did you accept this deal and this and that? But in my opinion, I think that every creator has to price themselves a bit like depending on their following, their community, their audience, what they did before. What are your advices for creators. Maybe let's say women, because the podcast is more intended to women creators. What's your advice for them for pricing themselves when it comes to content creation?
Okay, so great topic, because this is something that I wish every woman should know, is that you by default, and I don't want to make generalizations, but it's just real. Like, women, we're more accommodating. We're a bit nicer. We think about other people before ourselves usually. Like, that's just our nature. And people will take advantage of that. Like, in the business world, it's ruthless. If you can get a lower price, you're going to get a lower price. Like, that's just, it is what it is. There's nothing personal about it. It's like, it just is what it is. And I can certainly say, like, from my experience and just experiences that I've seen, um, for female creators, is like, we just tend to underprice ourselves, like, compared to the market, and we want to accommodate, we want to make like the company or the client or whatever feel like better, so we like price ourselves less. And I'm just like, I've learned about that, and I would say never ever do that. So it's definitely very important to learn about like negotiation and just psychology in general. So very basic. If you're unable to walk away from something and say no, you don't have the power. So they can lowball you as much as they want, because you're never going to walk away, right? It's like any kind of human relationship. It's crazy. So yeah, I think the number one thing is understanding like what's the industry benchmark. So let's say for my following, like, I need to find out how much I should be getting paid. Like, how much are my peers getting paid? Whether they're women or not, doesn't matter. Like, how much are they getting paid? Okay. And then you kind of start that, and okay, this means that people are actively paying them that much. I should not go lower, right? Because if you go lower, your perceived value is less. This is the thing, right? It's like people assume, okay, if I charge lower, they're going to like me more or something, or like they're going to give me more deals. But actually, they're just going to think that your work is of a lower quality. So don't be afraid to charge like more than you think is good. Like, I always get told like, charge more, charge more, charge more. For now, I found like a price that I'm comfortable with. And I know that like some of my peers are charging sometimes 2x more, but I feel good about this price because it gets me good deal flow. And like, I think it's decent. But yeah, I would definitely say you have to study benchmarks. Like, you have to find out how much people are getting paid. And it's hard because a lot of people don't share that. But you also need to be self-aware, right? Like, you can't expect the world and not be producing anything of value, for example. And
Mhm.
it's definitely not just based to like on followers. I think who you know is also a big one, to be very honest with you. Because yeah, if your followers are a certain category of people and then another category of people, like, sometimes person A is going to be paid more. But yeah, for women, I would definitely say like the number one thing is look into negotiations, look into like persuasion tactics. You don't need to play games, but you just need to be aware of the dynamics.
Yeah, I love what you're saying. Also, I've noticed something. I don't know if you've also felt that, but most of the opportunities that I got that were paid quite good, I think, for what I'm doing came from women. The only time where I tried to price myself the way I price myself and I was like talking with guys, they would like not get back to me or decline the offer and say that I'm too expensive. Have you ever felt this like difference in opportunities compared to your peers that are guys?
I mean, definitely. To be honest with you, I would say that like I actually get more opportunities from guys. Yeah,
Interesting.
I don't really know if it's like a pattern or not. I'm trying to
That's
like think.
interesting though.
Yeah, like, to be honest, I think I don't want to make like sweeping statements, but yeah, I don't know if there's too much of a correlation, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Like, I think when you're maybe like a emerging creator, like a creator that's growing like fast and that doesn't seem so established, like, people want to pull you up. And that's the point where you have to say yes to like a lot of things. When you're already established and you're like kind of comfortable, that's when you start saying no and you start being picky. But I'll tell you right now, like in 2025, which was my year of kind of like growing fast, I said yes to everything. Like,
Okay.
if someone wanted to fly me out for a brand deal, I would go. Like, I flew so much that year, I started to get acne because I was just so exhausted. But I just knew that I had to say yes to everything. If you feel like people are giving you opportunities because they want to see you grow, and sometimes that's women because they can like relate to you and they're like, maybe they see themselves in you, or maybe they're just really happy to see a woman creating and putting so much work in. You need to take advantage of that. you need to say yes to everything, which I'm sure you're doing. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say there's too much of a correlation, to be honest with you. I think since there's more guys in the industry in general, that's probably why I get like more deals from guys. But I will tell you that they're most often people that I've worked with before or that I know. So they've kind of seen my work before. They have worked with me before, or they're like, what's it called? Referring me? Yeah, they're referring me to someone. So yeah, it's like such a small industry. I think word
Yeah.
of mouth really matters. Like you have no idea, but like every little thing you do matters. So yeah, if you can put quality into everything, that's the best thing you could do. I don't know if that even answered the question.
Yeah, it's a good answer. And actually it's great because it can also be exactly as you said, that maybe I was unlucky at that time, or maybe it was really like too much for their budget. Didn't happen to me like so many times, but I just noticed it was just the other day I was thinking and I was like, oh, like most of the opportunities that I got were from women, but maybe because my network is mostly women. That can also be the reason.
Okay, I would
Um,
definitely, sorry, because I totally did not address what you actually said. I just realized now, like, yeah, I mean, you will get people telling you, oh my God, you're so expensive. And then you can be like, well, my peers are charging 4 times what I'm charging. So no, like that's factually incorrect. Like I had one person say this to me recently. I literally posted about their project. Like the post went viral, like 1K likes, like 200K views, blah, blah. And I was not paid by them or anything. I just found the app and I found it cool. And then he like texts me to try and work with me, and I give him my prices, and because I think he was expecting some more free shit. And I was like, okay, well, if you're coming to me and you're asking for marketing, like I'm going to give you my prices. And he's like, wow, it's so expensive. And I'm like, actually, like not at all. Like considering my reach and considering the market prices, like this is actually a really good deal. So like kind of miss me with that energy, you know? Like
yeah.
you have to be a bit, I will definitely say I've got a bit of a cutthroat personality sometimes. Not like don't be arrogant, but you gotta also sometimes like tell people like, nah, like, you know, like set some
Mhm.
boundaries. If people say you're too expensive, like you just say, okay, bye. You don't explain yourself, you don't nothing. You just say,
Yeah.
no, this is completely fair, given my reach and blah blah blah. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Um yeah,
Yeah,
have that
especially when
self-respect.
you're
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's really important, especially when you're not exaggerating with the prices. I think that some people just want like work for almost free and
Oh
they
yeah.
can find someone else for sure.
There are always going to be brokies. Like with my creator friends, we always talk about this, and honestly, it's not great for them because it doesn't give them a good reputation. I'm sorry, like
Mm,
lowballing creators is it's not great, you know, because you're a
yeah.
crypto company, you probably have tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in your treasury, and you're trying to lowball a creator that is honestly not asking for too much. It's just, yeah, it's not a great look. So I would just see it from that angle. Like, just don't give them energy, you know? It will always
Yeah.
happen. It will always happen. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And as you said, like people talk and actually creators talk a lot together. So
Of
I think
course.
even brands should be careful. And
Yep.
to come back to your content creation, so you built a brand on X Twitter. And like recently, I think since the start of the year, you started putting more effort to Instagram, for example. You also have a Substack and you also have a podcast with Sanjay that's called New Wave. So what is like, how do you plan all of this content? How do you manage like everything? Because it's a lot of content, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've always been like a bit of a multitasker. Like I used to stream on Twitch in like 2024, 2023, 2024, and I was doing like my full-time job at the same time. So I've always had this kind of habit of it's maybe not good, but like my work being my whole life or like my passions being my whole life. So I kind of have like a lot of energy and I'm always like willing to just do a lot of things if I'm passionate about it. If I'm not, I have no energy and I just want to drop it. But yeah, so I would say it's like habit. So knowing how to like juggle multiple things and really good planning. So I'm not good at planning at all. I'm actually pretty disorganized, I would say. Like I'm not a linear thinker. And using AI has been really, really helpful for that. So they kind of like fill in the gaps where I have gaps. So for example, since like January, I was like, okay, I've been putting this off for too long. I want to grow my Instagram. I want to post like one reel a day, one video a day. And I didn't know how to get to that point. So basically what I did is like voice note dump to Claude. And I basically told it like, these are my goals. This is the amount of income I want to make. This is the amount of followers I want to get. This is my current situation. This is how much I'm making right now. This is like the time I have, all of this. And basically it kind of interviewed me, or like we did a back and forth for like a few days, and we drew out this plan of like, okay, this is what we're going to do step by step. So off the top of my head, it told me like, okay, in the first 2 months, you're basically just going to post every day and grow, and that's it. Like nothing more, just post every day. So it's what I did. It worked. Like it's done pretty good. And every time I get like new information, I'll basically update my AI. So I have an assistant. She basically plugs in all of my stats for Instagram and YouTube. And I'll have my AI, like now with OpenClaw, it can actually like look at sheets and stuff. I'll have my AI like check these stats so it knows like what's doing well. And then I'll also have it check followers every day so we know like which followers came from which video. So there's a lot of like data analytics to know exactly what's working and basically doubling down on that. And I'm not good at that. I'm not good at data analytics. I'm not good at planning. I'm not good at any of that. I'm just good at doing things. So like I need the instructions and then I can execute. So yeah, I basically just figured out what my weakness is. And like if I could eliminate that weakness, I could probably get to my goal. And so I use AI to eliminate that weakness. Um,
So just to make it clear, you use OpenClaw as your assistant, right?
so I have an assistant that I've had for I think like 2 years now. Zoe, she's amazing.
Real assistant. Okay.
Yes, real assistant, online, virtual assistant. Like
Okay.
she's in crypto, but she's been in my community for a long time. I actually hired her from my Discord, and she used to mainly do my community, and now she's like full time. So anything I need, I text her, but I also have OpenClaw. Zoe mainly handles, for example, my group chats, like making sure I don't miss anything. So she like pings me and reminds me on stuff. She also, yeah, like I said, like logs in the data, which honestly my OpenClaw could do, but I just trust Zoe more because I don't know. I just trust her with that more. OpenClaw can like hallucinate. And yeah, basically AI does all the like planning because I can
Uh-huh.
update it instantly. Yeah.
And the AI is with Claude, right? Claude work, something
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
Okay.
it's Claude. So before I had OpenClaw, I was just using Claude on
Uh-huh.
the pro plan. So I think it's like $20 a month, and just using Sonnet. And I was like literally just voice messaging it. Like,
Okay.
and it changed my life. I didn't know that it would be this useful.
Uh-huh.
Like I only started doing this early January with the AI, and it meant that I could execute like straight away. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, since then I've just been posting every day. And
Yeah, you've been growing so fast on Instagram. I think it's crazy. And you've been very consistent. I'm following you and I'm
thank you.
like, wow. And actually, the content that you're putting out is very valuable. And I love that there's also a bit of a focus on like women entrepreneurs, creators, and you give some tips. I think it's important for us to have like figures like that to remind us to like have our standards and always, ask for what we want. And the fact that you, a young woman, is using AI to automate her stuff and like you're sharing exactly how you're doing it, I think it's really like inspiring. And I've been wanting to test it out, but I'm like, I feel
You
like,
should.
I don't know why. I feel like it's so hard, and
No, it's
and
not.
I'm like, I have to just take a day and try it out because I love the idea that you're, using the data to check like what content performs the best, how you're getting followers, because that's actually the way to like
Yep.
really grow an account, right? Otherwise, you're just going to waste your time and try different things for a long time. And it's like very tiring.
Yeah, honestly, like learn from other people. I always
Mhm.
see it like this. I'm like, okay, if I want to grow here, I'm gonna look at the people that I want to be like and just learn from them. So there's this Instagram. Okay, I'll call her a money guru, but she's more than that. She's a businesswoman, and she's like the extreme end. It's nuts. She's making like I don't know, like 500K a month. Like it's really it's crazy. And she basically has a YouTube channel, and she explains like exactly how she grew on Instagram because she grew about 800K followers in like 6 months, like insane stuff. So I was like, okay, she clearly knows what she's doing. She's growing extremely fast. She's everywhere. I need to learn, right? And so I look at her videos and she explains that like it's all data backed. So I was like, okay, I need to start doing this. So I didn't like make this up. Like I've literally just studied people that I think are really good at what they do. And then I take elements and then I learn from it. And the AI part is extremely useful because you don't need to memorize all of this. You can literally just watch a YouTube video, voice dump like the key points to your AI, and then it'll memorize it and it'll apply it for you, right?
Yeah.
Like the key lessons, it'll apply it to you. And you don't need to know anything. Like you can literally just start from zero, which is exactly what I did, and then just tell it like, okay, what can I do? Like, what apps should I use? Like, how can we do this better? And obviously, it's not perfect. Like, it forgets stuff sometimes, but yeah, I couldn't recommend it enough. Like, it's really easy to use. I literally didn't know what I was doing like 2 months ago.
Yeah, but that's actually the best advice that I've heard over and over again. Just like find some people, some creators or entrepreneurs that inspire you and try
Mhm.
to extract what can like benefit you and kind of like copy it, but in your
100%.
own way. I mean, we're so many on this planet, and I'm sure that most of the people who made a lot of money didn't just come up with like an idea. They just were influenced by other people, right?
Yeah, honestly, there's no shame in that. Like, I think doing like copying what works and making it your own is what you should be doing. No idea is an original idea. I think it's just ego when people think that they've come up with something and like no one else has ever thought about it ever. Like Picasso himself said that the best artists steal. And obviously that's a bit of an extreme version of that. It's true. Like sometimes I see a reel, I'm like, this is really good. I feel like I could do it better. And I just literally copy paste it, make it my own, make it better, and then it does good. You know what I mean? It's like you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can definitely be yourself and still be inspired by other people. Like I think that's the beautiful thing about social media is like we're all inspired by each other. So yeah, I would always say like you should do that. Obviously, be yourself. That's still the key part. But if you see something working, like why wouldn't you try to emulate it in a way, right? You'd be
Mm-hmm.
silly not to. Yeah.
Totally. I love that. If someone wanted to become a content creator in 2026, especially let's say in crypto, because like AI tech, what would be your advices for them to like find their niche? What's the easiest way to do it?
So when I came into crypto, there weren't like many creators. So it still felt like untapped. But now I think it is a bit different. Like my honest advice would be don't limit yourself to crypto. I think if you're in crypto, I don't know like your exact story, Jesse, for example, and I'd be really interested to hear. But I think if you're in crypto in general, you're just like someone that's very forward thinking and you're very interested in like emerging tech, whatever that is. And it probably is also because you've used crypto. So you like see the benefits of it. But I would say like don't box yourself in. Like and this is my take. Some people have the opposite take where they say stay in a niche and like master it. And I think that's also super valid. But in this day and age, I wouldn't like box yourself in, especially because crypto is very tied to cycles.
Yeah,
So
no.
yeah, my honest advice is like it's not very pleasant, but it's like try to expand. Like X is an amazing platform. If you're starting there, 100% start there and like master it and get like a very decent platform there. And then when you add another layer, I would definitely say like expand outside of X. But as you may know, like crypto content is kind of difficult on other platforms. Like usually it gets kind of deboosted and stuff. So in general, I would say if you're trying to go on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, branch out to like general tech and document your journey. I think that's actually where I managed to build such a strong audience. Is like I'm extremely open with a lot of things, and some people judge me for it, but I just have that like connection with my community. And I think that's what really brought me there. So I think no matter what you do, you know, whether you start in, let's say, crypto gaming and end up in something else, if you've shared enough of yourself along the way and like shared your journey with people, you can pivot like to anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I love what you're saying. And also because we've seen it, like if we've been in crypto like for a long time, it has changed so much, it has evolved so
True.
much. And if you don't pivot, you can be also left behind. So I think that having like different niches and not just being like closed minded is
Yeah.
important, except if you're like a degen, like maybe you just want to talk about crypto and that's a different thing. But in my case, for example, when I go on TikTok or Instagram, I don't look for necessarily tech content. I love watching like skincare, fashion content, like, like very girly stuff. And I've been thinking like, that's why I'm not creating so much, at the moment on Instagram and TikTok, because I'm still trying to understand like how to get out of like the Twitter content creation. Cause I've been deep
Got you.
down since 25 on creating like content on Twitter. And it's mostly about crypto or AI, but I don't necessarily want to do that on Instagram and TikTok. So I'm like, is it like okay for me to talk about something else, to just make like fun POVs about just being a girl, eating fries and things like that? And so I think it's important to, be open and just try different things for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And again, like if you have a difficult time like imagining how that all comes together, try to study other content creators. Again, talk to Claude, like tell it to, do market research, tell it to like study successful influencers and stuff like that. And it can give you a lot of really good ideas because this is actually something that most creators struggle with is like niches and like picking what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, I think even if you do both, like that's who you are, but you should try to stick to that. Like on Instagram, for example, if you're going to do like beauty, fashion, and a bit of tech, like that's fine. But you need to do those three things. You can't one day stop doing the tech and replace it with, I don't know, fitness. I mean,
Mhm,
maybe once you're big enough, yes. But in the
mhm.
beginning, people are going to follow you for a reason. They're going to expect certain things from you. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also bad, I think, for the algo to just talk about different things all the time because then it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
understand like who's your audience and it
Yeah.
doesn't like share your content. Yeah. But also like beyond content creation, you've also, I mean, it's still part of your content creation because you make videos and you share that on Twitter, you share that on Instagram. You talk about your investments and especially in Bitcoin and uranium. Like how, for example, okay, Bitcoin, but like how did you start like investing in uranium?
Okay, so actually, before I even got into crypto in like 2021, no, okay, same time I got into crypto, I was really interested in studying nuclear energy. I've always really cared about like the planet, the environment. Yeah, I think honestly, as women, like we get that because it's like I don't know, we just care about nature. Um, Obviously, a bit of a nerd. So when I'm interested in something, I'm gonna go like really deep. And basically, what I learned is nuclear energy is it is the cleanest form of energy in terms of like um doesn't produce any like carbon dioxide. So in that sense, it's clean. Obviously, ton of taboo around it because it's extremely dangerous if something goes wrong. But yeah, I was just like studying it a lot and I've been very bullish ever since like I learned about it. So like for many years, I've been very bullish about nuclear. Like I've been talking about it quite a lot. But I never thought at that time in my life, I wasn't thinking about investments. This is something I kind of learned like in the past couple years, let's say. So I wasn't thinking, okay, I'm super bullish on nuclear. Let me like invest in this because I didn't have money to invest. I didn't really know about investing. So it just didn't come to my mind. And in the past, like, yeah, couple years, I actually found out like, oh, wait, I can actually invest in nuclear by buying uranium because you need uranium to basically start a reactor. And yeah, started looking into that, got even more fascinated because actually it turns out that the supply is like dwindling, like the supply is literally going down in demand and now nuclear is kind of going through this renaissance where all the countries like are realizing that they need nuclear because we need more energy for AI, blah blah blah. So it's like demand is gonna go up like so much and supply is just gonna go down. And I was like, holy shit, like my thesis is basically coming true. Like I need to put money in this. Yeah. That's basically the TLDR. It's like I just like nerded out about a topic and just tried to find out, okay, how can I make money from it? Yeah.
That's so amazing. I think you are fascinating. Really, I don't know,
Thank you.
you're very one of a kind. Like, I haven't met
Thank you.
anyone like you in crypto. And I think the fact that you talk about different things and um, people are a bit like sheeps, and sometimes it's okay. I'm also a sheep. Like we follow trends. Everyone talks about the same thing, especially on crypto Twitter at the moment. And it's like, I don't know, your content is fresh and I like it because it brings another perspective that, not everyone's talking about. And so I love it so much. I want to ask you one last question, which is very important. It's like the most important question of the
I'm scared.
podcast.
Oh, is it about fries?
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much you love fries?
Okay, okay. Are we talking about like normal fries? Like, can we have like a variation?
Yeah, I mean, like whatever fries, as long as they're fries, can
Okay,
be
I would
like,
say like a 7.
oh wow, how? Because it's fried and you don't like fried food, or
I
it's
don't
just
like
that
fried foods, but I like fries.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You know that you can make them in the oven though? Like I make them with like 1 spoon of
Oh,
olive oil and I mix them and I put a bit of like salt and it's really
that
delicious.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I love sweet potato fries.
Okay.
and peri peri. Have you had peri peri ones?
No, but a lot of people on crypto Twitter are like, you have to try peri peri. Are they like
Really?
spicy?
Yeah. It's like it's Nando's. I think it's literally just it's a Nando's thing. I might be wrong. So
Okay.
it's like that secret kind of spice that we don't really know what's in it. But yeah, it's so good. It's really nice.
I have to try them. Thank you so much. It
I'm
was so
going
lovely having you
crazy,
on
I
my
don't know
podcast.
Oh, it
what
was
I
so lovely
should
being here. Thank you so much for
do.
having me.
I keep dipping, but you stay.